Welcome back, Juventinita, to the Juventinita, back to Black and White Podcast. My name is Daniel and Eager, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And guys, again, we are back. It's going to be a busy week. Third podcast probably on the trot. That's going to be dropped soon. So, guys, stay tuned. We got lots of stuff coming. Today's pretty simple. We're going to be starting the season preview part 1 for the 2021 campaign, Serie A campaign. And today we finally bring a new guest in. Seems like it's been a while since we've actually had someone new. And I just wanted to welcome Max from Hamilton. Thank you for coming on this show. Definitely love having new guests. And just before we get into that, I just wanted to say that, it's been great what's been going on the past, I would say, week, even just starting with that edit. And again, guys, thank you so much for all the support. The views are just skyrocketing. I couldn't believe it. We were hitting like over 50 on most of the videos that were coming out. So it's great to see. Drop some comments though. Don't be shy. Whether you like something, whether I'm saying obviously about 17 times, which you're probably going to comment on, but yeah, whatever it is, just let me know, and we'll get her fixed. And so just recently as well, I've become, I want to say, a free agent in the sense that I won't be re-upping with the Bianconeri YYZ, and I just wanted to give you guys some context because I was, it seemed like it was a pretty tight-knit group, and things have kind of changed. Me going back with Bobo the Clown. I know a lot of you guys have probably been paying attention to that and hearing that. You're going to be hearing a podcast. Well, it's going to be out just after we record this podcast, so stay tuned to that. And I think we're getting into this realm now of fan accounts and content creators, switching up what it means. And for me, like I've always said, this is from the heart, for fun. I like to meet you guys, the fans, to possibly whatever that may be in the future, going to games in Torino or, meeting in maybe a North American tour or something like that. But to me, that's really what it's about, the community, like a sense of family. And to me, it has changed. What started as inclusivity, equality, and love for the black and white has turned into let's jump onto every Juve creator there is and trying to build a brand. Now, I know there's financial stipulations and criteria that they have to meet, but really when you're giving away free memberships and you're kind of talking in a way that a certain other podcast, or not podcast, but a certain other membership, JOFC in the same city, wasn't as welcoming or fair, let's so to speak, now kind of starting a trend in that sense. So I just wanted to get that kind of off my chest. Again, you can whore for numbers all you want. I could literally, if I wanted to, roll out the Rolodex, bring on all of the journalists if I want. I could bring on some of the top content creators out there. I could bring in some of the big numbers. That's not what this is about for me. And again, I know I've been like reiterating this and you guys are probably getting sick of it, but again, all love and respect for the OGs of that group. For Rocco, I think he's done a wonderful job. Again, it's not personal. I thank him for always coming on my content and, sharing and liking. And yeah, but I guess as LeBron famously said, I'll be taking my talents elsewhere. So that's all for that, guys. Again, Max, welcome to the show. Hamilton, fellow Canadian. This is awesome. But again, as always, we start off with a new guest, and we want to know how you became a Juventino.
For me, it was mostly the rise of Del Piero at his peak, and I was like really attracted to the black and white shirts. They have made, well, from what I was aware, I didn't see them win in '96, but I was aware of '97 and '98. Following '99 when they lost to Manchester United in the Champions League. So that kind of drew me towards the team. So I guess I was a little bit of a glory hunter. But hey,
well, you can't be as bad as Ronaldo fan, so you're okay.
No. Yeah. But with Zidane and like Inzaghi, I remember you posted something earlier this week about Inzaghi. I was like, yeah. I remember seeing him score against Manchester United. I was like, I was really young, but it was like really impressionable on me, and I guess that's what attracted me to Juventus, and following them through Serie B and all of that. That's
Yeah.
my Juve history, I
Now
suppose.
you speak of Inzaghi, and like that 89 goals in like 160 some games is quite crazy. I mean, we're looking at a guy that a lot of people made fun of because he was, if you want to call him a tap-in merchant. But as Ronaldo fans say, a goal's a goal. So you got to give it up to him. I mean, almost one goal for every 2 games. That's quite an impressive record, and that's just with Juve.
Yeah,
I'm not counting numbers from Milan or anything else. So that's pretty impressive as a player. And yeah, I mean, 90s
absolutely.
90s football and those jerseys are iconic. Um,
Kappa.
yeah, I mean, is it in terms of a following? Is it more of a family affair or just a personal kind of love for the shirt, or kind of like where's
Uh,
your heritage from the motherland or not?
oh yeah. My family is Italian. My mother and my father are both, well, they're, I guess, second generation Canadians, but my mom's side, they're all Roma fans. My dad's side is Furlan. They don't care. They don't care about Udinese or anything, but um,
Okay, cool, man.
no one really pushed soccer on me. I just, nothing to do with family. Whenever I see my mom's side, they're always saying, Juventus is shit, all that, they're just busting balls, but whatever.
Is what it
I
is.
mean,
We've had the last
9 on
laugh,
the
right?
trot now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Exactly,
So,
exactly.
you know,
No, that's fun, and yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't think my parents are really that involved, and it's more of kind of a family, like uncles and cousins and whatnot. But yeah, so I can relate to that. It was more kind of me pushing into sports, but yeah. And then, do you have any weird rituals? I know this is kind of everybody's different. For me, I like to watch games by myself 90% of the time, because sometimes I could probably throw, as you can see, I'm in my first apartment. Fortunate enough to been, save up and buy my apartment, and then, buy my own TV, buy my own couch, all of the bells and whistles. You know, there's been a few instances that a controller for my PlayStation is
wall
almost,
repair and everything.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. You got to be a little bit more tame, because
Yeah.
everything's new. Thankfully I don't have the plastic on everything like the old school, the Italian, the nonnas
Mm-hmm.
there.
On the
But
sofa.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So I'm not that, I'm not that, intense with my furniture. But anyways, yeah, it's what is it like to watch a game in your household?
My fiance has to go away. She can't be near me. Just like you have to be alone. Um, I usually have a drink, sometimes a coffee, but things don't go well. If it's a morning game, a
Yeah,
coffee.
true.
Obviously, and I just bite my nails until there's nothing. Like if you saw my nails right now, I'm not going to show you, but they're disgusting. It's just like nail
Yes.
biting, nail
Yeah.
biting, nail biting, watching, slapping my thigh. Just out of frustration, yelling, punching the wall or anything. I've never been driven to that, but definitely I'm not a pleasant person to be around
Yeah.
when watching. So yeah,
Well, it's all right. I
that's
mean,
that's my
pretty
yeah.
pretty straightforward. Now, is there anything you like? Is there a certain jersey you like to wear? To me, I'm not a big, like, you see me right here. I got like a track jacket on. I don't know what it is. I'm not a big fan of wearing these jerseys. Just because they're a
Me
pain in
neither.
the ass to clean. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've had jerseys. I've had a mint Del Piero white jersey with the zigzag, and I got kind of custom numbers on them by someone in Calgary. So they're not necessarily the real numbers. It was a designer that took the template and actually built a
Uh,
template. to look the exact specifications. But anyways, what happened was, and then obviously print screened it. But what happened was I would wear it. We'd play. Obviously, when you're younger, you go to the field, whatnot, put on a pair of cleats. And then when you come home, the thing smells, as it should. You're having a nice workout. And then you throw it at your mom accidentally throws it in the wash, and apparently that the screen print or whatever they use, all the ink just ruins that jersey. So I learned my lesson once. So yeah, it's very, it's very rare on occasion that I'm wearing a jersey, but I'm more of like the track jackets, bombers, whatever they have.
Right on.
So
yeah, I don't generally wear jerseys. I have lots that I in the closet, but right now I'm wearing 2006 when they were in Serie B, the black, the away.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah,
classic jersey.
I'm not a big fan of wearing jerseys around. Sometimes I wear it for my students, and then they say, "Oh, why do you like Juventus?" And I'm like, they were the Barcelona of the '90s, and they're like, "Oh,
quiet.
Okay, cool, yeah."
Be quiet, you little shits, freaking cheering for Ronaldo and fucking Barcelona, Real Madrid. That's all it is nowadays, eh? And the Premier League.
Neymar, I'm done.
Yeah, but anyways, we still have
very
the love.
Rare.
Yeah, exactly. But let's get into the news now. We'll get right into this one because we got a little bit to cover. We did the damage in podcast number 33, so I think it's going to be a little bit more decisive now. Piazza's getting a lot of attention, obviously from Pirlo as well as other clubs. Is he going to go? I'm not sure. He did look pretty good in the in that Novara game, the friendly, and but it's looking like there's not enough room for him. So it's probably going to be another loan away. I've been hearing, I believe it was Genoa that is looking as well.
Too.
Yeah, Verona and a couple other clubs as well. So we'll see what happens with him. Suarez, it's like that seems to be dead in the water now. Kind of confirmed as of recent. I don't know if you saw on my Twitter, guys, as well, that Pirlo obviously passed his UEFA Pro license. And congratulations to him. But again, in terms of the signings with Suarez, were you a big fan of bringing Suarez to Juve?
Absolutely not. Like way past his best at this point. He was like a machine maybe 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, but now what a waste of money. If you drop Higuain, I don't see the purpose of this. He's not gonna press. That's what Pirlo wants, to win the ball back. He's lost, his pace. It would have just been a total disaster. So a blessing in disguise, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But
yeah, so even like we've talked about, I mean, the names have been swirling around the number 9 position, and even Milik comes back into it late because there was reports that Roma and Napoli had reached an agreement, 25 million plus 5. Again, but it's like there's so many it's like a story. You don't know if it's true, and then you're like, well, it really isn't true because it's like, well, there's a De Sciglio deal in the works, and then you don't know. Okay, well, if this doesn't happen, then there's always a De Sciglio deal in the works somewhere. And I almost feel like I've said it with Jake the other night. And I'm going to say it again. It's like we're paying for these stories to come out. Just be like, oh, just float a De Sciglio move, float a De Sciglio move. So I don't know. A lot of people are saying that, okay, well, if the Milik deal goes through from obviously Napoli to Roma, well, that obviously means that the Dzeko is going to be coming to us because now they're going to have an extra guy on the way out. So around 15 million. That's from Di Marzio. I don't know. Again, take it with a grain of salt, guys. I'm just a messenger, essentially. That's what I only want to be. I don't want to be this guy that's somehow getting fancy ideas. Someone was saying João Felix is now on possibility on loan today. and I think you know who it is. Another one of the on the Clown Network. So, yeah, I mean, whatever.
Nah.
But what do you think about Dzeko as a possibility?
I mean, if it's gotta be someone, might as well. Might as well be Dzeko.
50 million is not too bad.
Personally, I feel like they should have just never got rid of Mandzukic, but
Good point.
Yeah. Dzeko, honestly, I think he would be okay. He'd get I don't know, around 10 goals and be the player that Ronaldo needs, the number 9. But at the same time, I want to see how Dybala would work out with Kulusevski and
yeah, I agree.
Just to see. So really, honestly, I'm not really concerned about forward, whatever. I'm more concerned about the right back position, and that's.
Sing it to the choir, Max. Sing it to the choir.
That's. It just like it gives me heartburn just thinking about it. I can't anymore. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean we're gonna fortunately today. We're not necessarily going to talk about the lineup. I mean, I think that's a great point. I agree. I think a 4-3-3 with Kulusevski at the top, or even you could do a 3-4-3 with Ronaldo, Dybala, Kulusevski. I think that would be pretty sweet. But let's see what happens. I mean, Pirlo has his ideas, and he's going to try and see, obviously, who's available or not. In terms of deals, I mean, just what was it, 5 days ago they confirmed it was a 71.4 million euro loss, so pretty big numbers there. You're gonna have to make that up at some point before the end of next year, or else there could be a nice slap on the hands coming. But
for some clubs, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Who knows? Maybe we can jump the rope before we get clapped in the ankles, but I don't know about that for Italian clubs. We're always on their radar, and we just can't bribe the CAS or something like that. So that's just a hot take. But anyways, Marchisio Chiellini have started a new communication agency. There's got lots of athletes like Costa. That's DC. Obviously, Pjanic, Rugani, Buffon, Seragama of the women's team. They're athletes and actors, so good luck to them. Hopefully, they can make lots of money because they deserve it. And obviously, get bigger players and maybe attract them to Juve or even the continent. So, or the boot. So we'll see what happens there. Khedira, is he in? Is he contract terminated? Is it half the wage? I don't know. You guys judge. Apparently, Romeo Agresti's been saying they're planning to make an offer, whether that happens or not. Let's get into Dybala's agent again. Now that's heating up because the pan's a little cold, so they got to bring that back again. Again, more kind of signs and news stories that I've been kind of following online. Fabrizio Romano is saying that Suarez probably likely to stay at Barcelona or even end up at Ajax, so another turn. What else we got here? Then again, like I said, so the Milik deal was then possibly on the out, and then that also meant that the De Sciglio deal is not happening. So that was kind of what I was trying to get at there at the beginning. And McKennie is showing great things already. He's obviously impressed Pirlo with his natural characteristics. He's running, special talent for recovering balls, and I think that's something that Juve's lacked. In terms of Dimarzio again, dropping some kind of, I don't know if you want to call it knowledge, but dropping a take saying that Giroud would actually be the signing if Dzeko doesn't come, and I'm just like another waste of money. It's literally.
Yeah,
it's just like if you can't do we can't sit on our hands. It's like there's a point where you just sit on your hands, you don't pull the trigger, you don't do nothing because it's not going to hurt you. Like we've done it time and time again in the past. I think Rincon, Hernandez, You name it. Peluso, I think, was a late deal.
I think so.
So you
Yeah.
just got to sit on your hands and not, at that time, those were, you could say, not that big money. Like, I think Hernandez was like 12 million or something like that. So it's not like you're breaking the bank, but like when you're getting into these deals, like you can't, you're probably going to offer him a new contract because I think he's a free. I want to say he's a free. And
Yeah.
what does that become? Like a $5, $6, $7 million, another 5, 6, 7 million? It's like we can't keep dealing with that. So
Yeah, with all the payouts, the severance or whatever they're called, right? The buyouts.
yeah.
I don't know how their finances are gonna look come next year, right? Because that's all on the books. But
Well, we got to
I
win.
don't know.
That's the thing,
Yeah.
guys. We got to win, and we got to win it all because to be able to add an extra 100 million just in one competition is really going to do wonders for us. And it makes everything easier. You don't have to think about um, being in the negative. You don't have to worry about getting rid of key players. We talk about it all the time. Having this merry-go-round of guys having to go out that we need because we have to make the books look good. So again, something interesting like again with Dybala, we'll bring up Dybala again. He's going to stay. His agent's going to be there in 3 to 4 weeks. Tutto Sport's been reporting. One thing is clear: he is going to stay. Thankfully, I think they're looking to meet after the deadline, which is October 5th. But right now, I guess he's going to look at sponsorships. I mean, go get the bank, Dybala. Back up the Brinks truck, sign some deals with whatever brands you can and make that money. That's all I got to give advice for you, my friend.
Uh-huh.
Edin Dzeko, Gazzeta's reporting that he'd be ideal for the trio. You guys are going to see up on the screen now the image that's been going around of kind of the tactics, so to speak, of if there was a deal between Roma and Juve, and that would be, Dzeko starting in that number 9, and me not liking that Dybala is going to be starting on the right wing. Now, I mean, sure, X's and O's look nice and they look like they're going to work all the time, but that's not usually the case. So again, like I said, judge what you guys are looking at right now as you will. Stadiums. This is a big talking point in all of Europe. Again, I'm going to show you. You're going to now see this image on the screen, and it's coming down to the different countries. France, just looking at a max of 5,000 fans total. For Italy, Spain, and England, closed stadiums as of now. Germany's up to 20%. And, they're looking at a small percentage about the 4th match day. So mid-October. Hopefully all of us can get back. I mean, I'd like to. I don't know who they're going to give preference. I'm hoping it's the season ticket holders, but I mean, Juve, like I said, likes to do shit backwards. So we'll see what happens there. Now let's get into again, McKenny talking to his representative David Muller. He was asked why Juve. Leicester and Monaco and Southampton also were clubs that were pushing for his signature while we were all sleeping and not knowing who he was. But his representative mentioned, because when Juventus wants you, you don't even have to ask yourself questions. They're one of the best 5 or 6 teams in the world. Weston wants to make their mark in Italy. And also saying Weston loves his experience at Juve. Day after day, shows more and more enthusiasm. It's a dream come true. He always has been a player who likes competition and challenge. We're sure he'll become a better player in this environment. And I mean, it's been looking good so far. And I mean, positive attitude. That always changes, being a little competitive, being a younger guy who wants to push. I was kind of worried it was going to be kind of a quick plus Valenza move to kind of bring him in and then, maybe in January or even next year kind of offload it. I mean, we'll still see what happens. Me and Jake got into it on a couple podcasts ago, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him, how much time he's going to be getting, because we do have other starters that I think are going to be ahead of him potentially. But we'll see what happens. I'm not sure if he stays or not. We'll see. But it's good, like I said, to see that someone's positive and wants to be here. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts on some of that, my friend.
On McKennie, I think he's gonna be. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna play. Just a hunch, really. Like from the Novara game. I know it's Novara. I mean,
I think it was
not
a
a great
feeling
opponent,
out, right?
but
yeah,
but like he seems like a solid midfielder. I don't know. Like I don't see what all the hype is around Betancourt, but
okay.
I know
Interesting take.
I know, hot take, but
Well,
I don't know.
interesting
I
take
feel
because Bentancur's gotten a lot of praise. So to hear
yeah.
that you're not impressed is interesting. I mean, I don't know either way. I mean,
I,
it looks like he was good, and then towards the end he kind of slowed down.
Yeah, I could have been the break and everything, but we'll see this season. I don't know. I feel like McKennie's going to be like the surprise of the season for Juve. I don't know. That's just my feeling.
Okay, that's cool, man. No, that's cool to hear. I know Rose definitely thinks he's going to be. That's probably going to be the jersey she's going to be buying. Yeah, no, it's. I think with Bentancur, it's going to be getting a bigger role and seeing how he actually adapts now because there's not going to be a Pjanic in the squad. Obviously, you bring in Artur,
Yeah.
but you're not having Pjanic anymore. You don't have Matuidi anymore. So he's going to be kind of the big man on campus, and we're going to see how he's going to react to that. Because he was given a bigger role when we did come back from the COVID pandemic and started getting the restart, but it's going to be a little bit different now. So the games are going to be more spread out. But yeah, it's
True.
It could potentially see what he's made of, really.
Yeah.
And just lastly, before we got cracking on the schedule, Romeo Agresti kind of had a breakdown of some different topics. Important hours for termination for Khedira. If Ramsey and Khedira leave, then a new midfielder will be signed. If there's no sale, it's not happening. So, guys, me and Louis talked about the different positions. Obviously, number 9, midfielder, fullbacks. In the midfield position, if some players don't go, it's not happening. Basically, De Sciglio, he's saying, is agreed for a loan with option to buy. And he's probably going to accept that. We'll see if that's true or not. Dzeko's agent's going to be in Rome in the next few hours. If there's a yes for Milik, then they unlock Dzeko to Juventus. But Milik is 45 million. Well, they wanted 45 million from us. But now they're looking at 20 to 25 million. So we'll see what happens there. Apparently, Suarez is still going to take this exam regardless of if he's coming or not. So there's that. Keen on loan is another thing he's brought up. For DC, Douglas Costa offers from the Emirates and from Man U. He's on the market and could leave. Pellegrini's going to stay, which is nice to confirm. Yeah. I mean, hopefully that's true. Dybala, no big offers, no offers at all, actually. And Juve have decided to keep Rugani at everyone's love for that statement. So have fun with that one, guys. But anyways, let's get into the. Well, I mean, unless you have some comments. Sorry, my friend.
Nah, like with Rugani, I mean, you might as well have another center back. Doesn't hurt. I mean, Chiellini's bound to get injured again at his age. So at least having Rugani, despite all of his, his shortcomings, it's still good to have another center back like that. I don't know. I know he's prone to mistakes and everything, but he's really, in the grander scheme of things, not horrendous in terms of Serie A, I don't know, center backs, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
I've always said he really hasn't gotten enough playing time with us.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
And for me, I think he meets the Italian quota, which we need, and I think that's why they've decided. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, kind of the similar names, guys. I know I've been kind of going in a circle with these names, but we'll see what happens. That's why I hate the transfer window. It's literally like it's the same thing over, rinse, repeat, recycle. So let's get into this season. Obviously, we're going to talk about the key dates kind of in this current period. Some of that have obviously passed. August 4th, La Liga transfer window opened. The Europa League final was on August 21st. 22nd, Ligue 1 started. And I don't know if you saw that massive blowout between Marseille and PSG. PSG losing that game. I'm hoping PSG has a bad season because I could see like a Ronaldo Mbappe thing. Guys, I'm speaking this into existence. Next season, we are going to get Mbappe. If Bobo the Clown and fucking Monblano can throw this shit in the air, I'm going to fucking throw it in the air too.
92.7% chance. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen.
Exactly. So there's that. I mean, that's begun. Obviously, the Champions League finals on the 23rd. Serie A transfer window opened on the 1st. Premier League started on the 12th, 4 days ago, as well as La Liga. Bundesliga is going to be starting in a couple days. And Serie A starts on the 19th. Juve starts on the 20th. Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, which is going to have some attendance from fans. It's going to be on the 24th. If you guys are interested, I mean, why not? If you got, I think it's, what is that, a Wednesday, a Thursday? If you got a Thursday off and you want to watch some calcio, you got the Super Cup there. The group stage draw on October 1st, and me and my good buddies, my best friends, they're going to be coming on the show for the first time in Calgary. And we're just going to talk about group stage, shoot the shit. Who knows? We might get in trouble, but let's see what happens. We got one Man U fan, we got a Real Madrid fan, we got a Juve fan. So we'll see. We'll see what happens between that one. Obviously, October 2nd, the following day, for some reason, they got the Europa League draw. And guys, the transfer window closes October 5th. I'm counting down the days till that happens because I'm exhausted. I wish I went on I wish to see this COVID, they fucked up my schedule. I go on holidays for about 2 weeks in the summer, so I don't have to hear all this crap, and then we can get on with it. We can figure out the jersey numbers. I can buy all the jerseys I want, the 3 jerseys. I know exactly who they are. They're not going to get sent out. Unfortunately, I had to endure all of this, so feel bad for me, pity me. I feel bad for myself. But anyways, and for you guys, because you got to deal with the same shit. So hopefully that comes soon. Hopefully that comes quick. But like I said, the first game of the season for Juve is going to be against Sampdoria, and that's going to kick off at home at the JStadium. 12:45. Guys, we're going to be doing the pre-match. We're going to preview the post-game. And for the rest of the games, let me know. Send me a DM whenever you want, whichever games. They're pretty much, besides the Roma game, which is the game after that, we're getting into the first 3 games are kind of going to be crucial. So we have the Sampdoria game at home. And like I said, the Roma game, I think Roman's going to come on of Juve Therapy. And we're going to talk the post-match that. Hopefully a win. Hopefully. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting first three games. We got the Samp game, then we have Roma on the road and Napoli at home at the JStadium. Pretty crazy to start off the. I don't know how they come up with this formula, but 3 off the hop is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Roma Napoli. That's Pirlo's first big test, and it's right away. So I don't know how it's gonna go.
And it's weird because I've kind of compiled the list of all of the dates, including Champions League, Coppa Italia, all that kind of stuff, and so they give us those 3 games. And then the next 3 games in Serie A are all against the newly promoted squads. So I don't know how they come up with this formula, but anyways, that's how it is. So we got 3 and 3. If you want to say 3, maybe trickier game. I know Samp has not really been a force last year, but sometimes they can give you a tough test,
surprise, yeah.
Or you can blow them out, like the game that I witnessed at the end of the year, at the end of 15-16, I believe it was. So, so it's a weird one with Sampdoria. But again, we're gonna have some Champions League games in between there. 2021 is gonna be the first match day, 27-28. Number 2 in November 3rd and 4th will be match day number 3. So by the beginning of November, we're gonna have 3 Champions League again. Whoever that's against, whether it be a group of death or whether that's all to be determined. But I think what's also crucial, Max, is that the transfer window closes right after that Napoli game.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying we're going 0-3 or something like that, but I'm just saying if there's, I'm expecting a slow start. I don't know about you. I kind of was like, okay, Novara, I saw some good, some shades of a good performance. But again, it's a friendly, so you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? I've been saying this. A couple other of my good buddies have been saying, yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to start. No expectations. How do you think we're going to start for these first 3 games?
I mean, against Sampdoria, I want to say I expect a win, and generally I'm pessimistic, but I feel like they can get off on the right foot and get a victory against Sampdoria. But I feel like Roma is a maybe a draw, but against Napoli, I'm kind of worried. This Osimhen guy seems pretty good, so that's like my big worry for Napoli. They finally have a good, I guess, number 9. So I don't know. I feel like Napoli's my biggest fear right now in these first 3 games, personally.
Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know. With Napoli. See, I'm not worried. The thing in my head right now is I'm not worried necessarily about the other teams. I'm just worried more about how we're going to play under pressure. Because, again, Pirlo's the new coach.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure is going to be on. And like you said, within 3 weeks, you're going to have 2 big tests. And Napoli and Roma, I didn't really see a massive, turnover from Roma, so I'm not too worried in terms of their squad. And then same with Napoli. I'm not really worried with the squad they have. I'm just worried that we might be coming to the game a little incompetent or a little, slow, and maybe a little nervous. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping I'm completely wrong, and we go 6-0 to start off the season. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We got to see how we're even going to line up, because that's kind of even the mystery that we'll get into in a couple podcasts from now. But so that's kind of like still an unknown. We have some ideas of what we want to do.
Yeah.
But like I said, so we're there. We're gonna have 3 match days of UCL against unknown opponents for right now. Then we have another big game, the big challenger from last year, Lazio, who I think if they don't have if COVID doesn't happen, they give us a real run for our money. What did you think about that last year? Do you have faith in Lazio kind of rebuilding, or do you think it was a one-hit wonder kind of deal?
No, I feel like Lazio's a solid team. I think between Inter and Lazio, those are the 2 biggest, I guess, challenges to Juve's 10th Scudetto. But Lazio's going to contend. I'm not too worried about Atalanta anymore. I don't know. Maybe they'll fizzle out. I mean, it's a feel-good story and everything, but Lazio is going to be a major test too.
See, the thing with Lazio is, and shout out to my cousins in Italy who are Lazio fans, but it's a tale of 2 sides. You have a squad that really dominates like they did last year, and then there's some years where Lazio is like, they go unknown. They're like they go on game like so up and down. they'll have,
mid-table.
yeah, exactly. They'll
Yeah,
lose like 6 games in a row, and then they'll win the derby. It's like really weird. Lazio's and I kind of really started noticing that, when I first started getting into the space, even following Stadio Serie A, which is kind of, dropped off a little bit in terms of, when they record their episodes. But I was, pretty much a weekly listener to those guys, and yeah, they would talk about they were going up and down. So it was nice to see them obviously being, having a pretty big family presence in Lazio, the whole region as a whole. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how are they gonna continue their woes of what just happened, right? Because we're not too far removed from the
hmm
last season, and they weren't particularly great. And then you also look at, like you said, you mentioned it perfectly, and I can't believe I didn't. This is the chase for the 10, guys. I'm thinking we got to have a permanent Scudetto. That's my idea. I don't know if anybody agrees, but like if you hit 10 in a row, like no
that's
words,
something. Like, yeah. Uh,
speechless.
but I don't know. I feel like Inter is really gonna push.
Hey,
That's my big. I feel like Inter's gonna either like be really really good or just implode, and then Conte leaves in December. He's just gonna bounce, be like the tire fire behind him.
he sure knows how to stir up the board. That's for sure. So
Yeah,
I don't think yeah, if that's the way it is, that would be awesome. I mean,
I know.
um,
I wouldn't like, and I wouldn't love, or I would love for that to happen. Like, please, please. I
oh yeah, I agree
just for
100%.
Inter to implode this year, and knowing that they have Vidal coming,
Yeah.
possibly, I guess, just to see everything just go up in flames. I know maybe I shouldn't be bad mouthing Inter in case you have like Inter listeners, but
I don't think so.
just
Not on
just in case,
not on this
who hate
channel.
listen. Maybe they hate listen. You never know.
Yeah, they just hear just to get
Yeah,
pissed off.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, no, and then we get into a couple easier games against Cagliari and Benevento. UCL match day 4, which happens to round out November. Beginning of December, we got UCL match day 5 and a big derby della Mole at home at the JStadium on December 6th. Finally, we play in that midweek slot. We'll have the last game of the Champions League, match day 6, and we'll see what happens there. We'll see if we're in first, second. I don't know. That's all to play. I mean, will we have fans by that point? I don't know. Half a stadium. Like there's lots of things that uh, like, and like I said, match day 4, they're looking, which is kind of unfortunate because we have a big game with Napoli, which you would like. That's a home game for us, so you'd like to have some fans there. You'd like to have a full stadium. But against Crotone is when they're going to start bringing it back. I mean, it is COVID. You don't want to mess with that. You don't want to, explode, have the numbers explode again.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it is kind of sad, so to speak. And then yeah, we get into December, which is a pretty big chunk of games. We don't know when the Supercoppa is going to be, but I believe it's going to be somewhere in between December 23rd, which is our last game before the break, which is against Fiorentina, and our first game back in the new year, which is against Udinese. So I think they're going to try. It's probably going to be in Saudi Arabia or Qatar or wherever the hell they decide to do it, and it's probably going to be in that break. That's going to be against Napoli, and we'll see what happens there. That's always an interesting tie again.
Uh-huh.
But not too difficult of a December. We, like I said, Derby della Mole to start the month, followed by Genoa on the road, Atalanta at home. Again, I think that's going to be a big test. To me, that's who I'm kind of, depending on what they do in the Champions League, I think Atalanta is going to be potentially could get in there. It could be like a Lazio situation where maybe they've bitten off too much for them to chew, or
Uh-huh.
now they know because this is a 4-year project. So they're at the end of the cycle. So are they going to be at their best now and really push? Potentially, that could be a big game. December 16th. We're at home, obviously, and then to finish off against Parma and, like I said, Fiorentina. Depending, hopefully, with a Supercoppa W, we bring into the new year against Udinese, and then on January 6th, we're going to be playing Milan.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting because now we're starting to get Copa time. Now we're starting to get, towards that end of the season, and there's a massive fixture at the end of this second last week of the season, excuse me. So we're going to be playing first Milan on January 6th, then only 4 days later, we'll be playing against Sassuolo, and whoever the Coppa Italia match could be, there's a whole list of potentials. It could be going down from the bottom. It could be Sud to Tirol if they go Sassari, Catanzaro, Via Francavilla, Salernitana, Chievo Verona, Samp, or Genoa. So there's a possibility of a Derby della Lanterna for, I believe that would be the 4th round, potentially. So we'll see what happens there. That's kind of a long ways away, but that's gonna add to the fixture list, right? I mean, potentially after that we talk about a game against Sassuolo, who again gave us a very tough challenge. I think they potentially could have beat us in that game, which could have even potentially, had some complications for the actually winning the title. And then you have a possibility of a Derby della Madonnina on the upper bracket. And then, again, the winner of those two teams potentially playing us in a semifinal. So, definitely an interesting bracket, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And, we'll have to wait and see for the winner of those. But, again, like I said, that just only adds more to the schedule. And that's going to actually be the game. So whoever we get to play is going to be the game either before or after the Intermerda, the Derby d'Italia. So it could be the potential pre match or post Derby d'Italia. So whatever that means to you, we're going to be on the road. Like you said, like you've been mentioning, you think Merda is going to be our toughest challenger. I'd have to agree. I think they've done maybe not max potential into what they wanted to add, but I mean they needed some help in their fullbacks. They've got Hakimi, and they have a lot of skill. So is it going to be their year? I really hope not. Like you said, I hope they lose, and they lose badly. But we got to wait and see what happens where we are at that point. Then we get into the end of January. And again, like I said, things just keep picking up. We get a quarterfinal against one of those teams that I've mentioned, Juve Bologna at home, and then we have the second half of the season starting at the end of January. So then we go through it again. Roma, thankfully, and really the only teams that I've noticed is Atalanta, Napoli, that's about it. Yeah. So Napoli and Atalanta are the only teams that we have to go on the road in the second half of the season. Could be crucial. But then again, it's kind of unfortunate that maybe Napoli will have a stadium, a packed stadium, a half-packed stadium. We don't know. But in between there, see, it's interesting because we start that season again, and we're going to have a potential semifinal in between the Samp Roma, and then the second leg would go between Roma and Napoli. And then directly after that game, potentially could be a round of 16 in the Champions League. So hopefully, the little Paulina there, we got some warm balls, and we get knocked into that second date between, like I said, the three clubs that have been promoted from Serie B. So hopefully that can be the case. Because if we are lucky in that sense, guys, and we can get, a February 23rd, 24th round of 16, that also pushes that next game away from the Lazio game that we have. So, again, like I told you before, Crotone, Hellas Verona, Spezia. Big game against Lazio, but it is going to be at home, which could potentially be a round of 16 the following midweek. So, I mean, hopefully we can get lucky and work that out. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's all about the UEFA ball. So they know. It's funny how these draws come out these years. You look at the group stage, and it's like every year the English clubs like somehow squeak out.
Yeah.
These easy these easy groups.
Yeah, like I was looking at the whatchamacallits, the pots, pot A, pot B, and the second pot B has, I think, Man City, Manchester United, there's a lot of, I think, Dortmund there too, right?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Dortmund would be a number 2.
Have you taken a look?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's never going to be easy, right? Actually, I should have it right here. I do have the link up, guys. Yeah, pod
there
2
was someone else.
Is, let's see, where
Chelsea's there too. That's, I don't know.
See, I don't
know how Chelsea got like.
I don't respect those guys, so it doesn't matter.
I know, but it's the money they've been throwing,
Yeah,
and we'll see. Like,
that's true. That is true. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Just to worry.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough either way. I'm guessing Porto's probably gonna be in that second pod as well, just because they finished first.
Yeah.
But they depending on the coefficients. But yeah, Barca will probably be in the second one.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, definitely could be some interesting groups, that's for sure. Because like you said, it could be a potential. I'm looking right here, like Juve, Barca. Well, yeah, Juve, Barca, Chelsea if they're in the second, depending if they're in the second. Maybe Marseille if they're in the third. Does Atletico drop down into the third because there's so many, like, you look at the teams, I don't necessarily have their UEFA coefficients in front of me, but I don't know. Again, that could be interesting. And like I said, if we're lucky enough to pull that date and kind of give us some separation, it's gonna, and I don't know, maybe they take it as motivation. Maybe they want to play Juve Lazio and then have a Champions League round of 16 in the midweek. Again, there's going to be a lot of things dependent at that point, right? Injuries and how what our form is at that point. But just to give you guys an idea of what we have to look forward to. But then, again, we have another Derby della Mole on April 4th. And the UCL quarterfinal will be right after that one. And then will take place. The second leg will be the following week after the Genoa game. And then a big game on the road against Atalanta, like I said, April 18th. Juventus plays Parma and Fiorentina to round out April. Hopefully, like I said, guys, fingers crossed, we can get to that semifinal, which would be at the end of April, beginning of May. After that second game, though, if we were to advance, let's say, to a final, you'd have Juve Milan at home. Hopefully that means nothing at that point. I'm hoping we're crowned by that point. But so who knows what that essentially is going to mean. But then we have another big test against Sassuolo on the road. And Derby d'Italia again, second last week of the season, at home at the JStadium. And that's something that I would really
Yeah.
Just looking at this schedule right now, guys, and I'm not making any promises because, money and COVID, who knows how that's still going to affect. Maybe you can't get tickets. It's going to be extremely hard to get tickets, but set your calendars for this one because you're going to have, in the span of, what is that, a week, your potential, and who knows, things could get moved because of, depending if we're in the final of Champions League or whatnot, but you would have Derby d'Italia at home, Coppa Italia midweek, potentially. Then maybe you go check Bologna, last game of the season. I don't know. You make a nice holiday out of it. And then right after that, 6 days after that, you got the Champions League final in Istanbul. Wow. May would be phenomenal. You got Juve Milan, Sassuolo Juve, Derby d'Italia, Coppa Italia final, Bologna Juve, hopefully 10th straight Scudetto. Hopefully tripletta UCL final May 29th. Guys, I don't know. Let's be positive. I mean, until you lose the first, second, or third one, they're all up for contention. So technically, we're in the hunt. So let's hopefully we can finally get the monkey off our back, and maybe this is the right time. Maybe the COVID. The first part of COVID wasn't it, but maybe like it follows into the season, and maybe the marbles are, like I said, all the planets are aligned, and it finally happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the recap, guys. It's going to be a long season. I thought it was pedal to the metal the past 3 months with these podcasts, and now it's going to be a little bit of a break. We're going to hopefully see previews and post games for all of the games. I'm hoping I'm not going to miss any this time. But definitely, gives me a little bit more time to breathe. And I think it's going to be an interesting season.
Yeah.
Any potential for slip ups? Like I said, I think it's pretty even schedule. Just looking at what potentially can happen, like I said, it's not too, I would say, congested. I don't know if that was Serie A being nice to us, luck, or whatever the case may be, but it's not too lopsided in a sense. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of what ifs. So, I mean, if there's a title race at the end, well, maybe we don't want Juve, Milan, Sassuolo, Juve, and Derby d'Italia the last 3 out of 4 weeks. But for me, I think it's all possible. Kind of, what are your let's get your expectations, of the season. Hearing, obviously, we've gone through the schedule. What are you thinking? I know you said you're a little pessimistic, kind of like myself. But what do you think, Max?
I want to say they're gonna win the 10th, but I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be, I don't want to say kind of like last year, because or this past season, because that was kind of unusual. But it's gonna be more of a struggle, not so much of a runaway. And you know what? Like, I would be okay if they finish, second, third, anywhere in the top 4. Second, mostly second place. I think that's okay, pending that they do well in Champions League. Right?
Yeah.
That's all I want. Like, I have a vision in my head, Buffon finally lifting. Can you just? I would bawl, like crying, just straight up tears. Like, that's all I want, just for him. Maybe Chiellini too, but like, that's it.
You look at what could have happened with PSG, and I know a lot of people were shit talking online, and it was just like, thank God they did not win the Champions League this year.
Buffon would have exploded, I'm pretty sure. Like,
literally, how people were still trolling after the guys won a World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, let's hope, guys. I mean, if you're pulling for one person, that's who you're pulling for. Because just the shit we've had to go through, guys. Like, fuck, like
He stuck around.
too many close calls, too many, obviously finals losses. But just the guy deserves it. I mean, whether you want to give him shit for, wanting to go somewhere else, keep playing, that's up to you. But I mean, he's still there. He's still motivating. You see him every goal. You see him on the bench, and just still with the passion. That something that I've said that I think Szczesny lacks is that real connection, that real fire. And I think that's really one of the only negative things that I can really talk about Szczesny. Is it? I don't know. I don't feel that connection between him and the back line like I do with Buffon, or that comfort. Now, maybe that's just because, we're talking about I would say the greatest goalkeeper of all time. So, I mean, that's kind of a big standard, big bar to
compare.
set.
Yeah.
So that's fair enough. And I've mentioned that in the past, and I think Szczesny's done a phenomenal job, and I've kind of gone back on what I was saying before about him. But to me, I think there's a little, I noticed there's a little bit of a lack of little fire. You do hear him when obviously there's no fans calling out things, but I don't know. It's not the same.
There's not that the yell. You can hear Buffon yell.
Oh yeah,
with people in the stadium, right? So that just like, oh, that's all I want. That's all of us want, I'm sure. Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I would be sure. I know there's some people that are Juve fans that like shit talk him for leaving, but I mean, to me, I could never.
They would be crying too. They would be.
Oh
crying
yeah,
too. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we won the Champions League, I'd be crying anyways, whether we had Buffon.
Regardless if Buffon's there, I know. Yeah.
If he wasn't on the team, I'd be losing my shit, man. I'd probably throw my TV off the 7th floor, just bring it up in the elevator, and just be like, "It's it. That's it." Just fucking toss that thing off the balcony. Oh shit, that would be unbelievable. Unbelievable. But guys, we still live to dream on, and dream on we'll continue to do. Is there anything else you want to bring up about the season to come forward? Anything you think about Pirlo? The way the management has been. The floor is yours, man.
I mean, with Pirlo, he's saying all the right things. The way he wants to play is the general trend, right?
Yeah.
In terms of tactics,
right?
Win the ball back, like lots of pressure up front, win the ball back immediately, maintain possession. And whether or not it all pans out, I guess we'll have to see. I don't know. I just just from watching them in training and everything, it seems like morale is up, Last year, not so much. Even with the last years of Allegri, it was kind of like, right? Now it seems like the players are into it. Everyone seems kind of, I want to say, happier. So you know what? Maybe they're really buying in. And with Sarri, they weren't really buying in. That's a whole other story and everything. But we'll just see what happens in terms of management with Paratici and Nedved, and I don't even like to talk about it. Like, what is there to say? I mean, I would say, they mismanaged and extended contracts that didn't need to be extended and shouldn't have been extended, and now they're paying dearly. And you know what? If Khedira were to sit for this entire season and not get his buyout, would I blame him? No, because they gave him that contract. I mean, it takes two, right? So I don't know. That's just my feel, or that's my opinion for management. That's really it. In terms of the season, like I said, do I expect?
And let me get a prediction, because might as well. I think what we're gonna do is, I'm hoping to do 5 of these, but obviously on different topics. But what is your prediction? I want to see. We're gonna do 5 previews. our season previews, and I want to hear 5 predictions, and I think I'm going to give mine at the end. But I think you guys kind of will have an idea of where I'm trending from how I've kind of talked so far in the podcasts I've done and what I expect. But Max, what is your prediction for the season? Let's go Serie A, let's go Coppa Italia, let's go Champions League.
All right. For Serie A, I'm going to say 10th Scudetto.
Okay.
Okay. For Coppa Italia, maybe, I don't know. I feel like things are going to start picking up, like you were mentioning, with the schedule. We'll say semifinals.
Okay.
And they fizzle out. No big deal. Whatever.
Exactly.
For Champions League, maybe quarterfinals, I feel. Quarterfinal exit. You know, maybe it's the group stage that worries me, and that's going to set them up for what happens later on, right? So, I don't know. We'll see how they do in the group stage. If they finish second, obviously that's going to factor into their round of 16 opponent. I don't know. I feel like it's a quarterfinal kind of a year for Champions League. Unfortunately, I want to say they're going to go all the way to the final, but I have my doubts.
Well, there's a lot of variables, and
yeah,
especially coming with a new coach. I mean, hey, you can support the guy all you want, but the fact is, how well is he going to be able to adapt?
Mm-hmm.
Are the players truly going to buy in when it gets difficult? There's lots of things to look at, right? There's lots of all these, and you can call them sports, quotes and, famous lines and, work hard, put the puck in deep, all that kind of stuff. Like, you could say all that. At the end of the day, it just comes down to what happens on the pitch, really. And I think, I think there's a possibility for a lot to happen. But again, like you said, but which is weird. It's not always, you want to win your group, but sometimes that fucks you as well because there's times I remember we won the group and then we had and then we got it in the end anyways. Because I know everyone brings up the obviously the Bayern game that I think we should have had in hand. I was up north in Alberta. We got done early, which was the weirdest day ever because it snowed like crazy. Got done early once out of the whole shift. So we go back to the camp, and I'm just trying to find a stream. Like, come on. And I was lucky. Well, I don't know what to say if I was lucky enough, but I was able to watch Bayern tie and then score in extra time. So definitely that was not fun at all. But I mean, that's something where you're like, okay, you should have. I believe it was Sevilla that's made us slip up during that year. But we drop into second place, and I believe we could have even scored in that game as well. Drop into second, then we get a quarterfinal against Bayern, and it's like we could have had a way easier pickup round of 16 it would have been. So we get Bayern right away, and so be it. They were the better team. We had the chance to go through. We didn't. That's history. But guys, let's hope for some good things. Like I said, I'm not going to necessarily say what I want, but what I'm going to predict now. But yeah, Max, thanks for those takes. We've kind of I don't know if I'm going to still call it at Allo Stadio. I don't know if I'm going to call it at Torino. But really, all we're looking for is some good Juve stories, either that happened to you in person or that you've heard or whatever the case may be, in Canada or in the United States or in Italy or wherever. So, or maybe even in your living room, for all that matters. But give us one of your most memorable Juve moments. Maybe you went to a game and, like me, I saw 5-0 beating. Fans just stormed the pitch. We host the title, the trophy, and my first trip was pretty awesome. I've talked about it a lot on the show, but there were some downs in that too with ticketing and stuff like that. But I won't get into that. But yeah, so the floor is yours, man. Take as long as you want, as much detail as you can remember if you can. But yeah, best moment, maybe with a player or whatnot. So go ahead, man. Go ahead, Max.
For me, uh, I guess it would have to be the 2002-2003 season, particularly the Champions League. I mean, they were just killing it in Serie A that season. Like I remember back in it was like November or December, early December, I forget, but Turin scoring this like sweet goal against Milan. I'm sure everyone's seen it because he only
Yeah.
scored like 3 goals for Juve. But I remember watching it on TLN on Rai, the Rai feed. You know how it was always like cloudy, But
Don't remind me. We finally got HD, bro. We finally got
yeah,
HD.
or like when a flare went off and then you couldn't see anything. That was
Yep.
that was great. But with the Champions League, particularly, it was against Barcelona, and I remember they were winning. It was the second leg. I think it was in Barcelona. Nedved scores. They're winning 1-0, and then Xavi Xavi ties it up. I don't know if it was towards. Yeah, it must have been towards the end of the game. And then somebody got sent off for Juve, and I was in high school at the time, and I had a temper. I was like, "Are you kidding?" I was super pissed, and I'm like, "Just go figure." Um, but like, this is when like I really like realized the
Solidified, yeah.
magic of Juve, the magic of Juve. So I forget who wins the ball back. So they're down a man to Barcelona. I think it's got to be close to extra time or no, sorry, close to injury time, or if it's an extra time. I forget because there were a couple Champions League games where it was an extra time for like 2004,
Yeah.
whatever. But anyways, close to the end of the game, and someone I think Nedved passes to Birandelli. I don't know if the listeners remember Birandelli, but
Well,
he was like a right wing back, like a real industrious player, and he's got it. He's going down the right side, and he crosses it in to super sub Marcelo Zalayeta. Do you guys remember? Maybe. And he scores this goal, and I freaked out. I remember I was, I don't know. I was by like this old phone at my parents'. It was like this old Bell phone that you would have to. And I remember I ripped it accidentally out of the wall, and I remember being yelled at. But that was like I freaked
it's
out.
all
That was the
worth it.
first time I really freaked out, and it was like a quarterfinal. I think they went on to play. That's when they went on to play Madrid, and there was the whole thing with Nedved getting sent off, and
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, the Conte against the post in the final, and Dida basically walking up to, I think, Montero when he was taking his penalty. But yeah, just that, and that was like my first like total immersion in the whole like Juve magic. I think maybe is that a good memory?
Yeah, no, that's
I
that's that's awesome. Like, because I think you said it very well. I think we, with a lot of the older, fans, or even in like kind of born in the '90s or maybe late '80s, you look at, or I mean, even in general, like, or even in older fans that are older than us, but Juve had a sense of, class to not almost always be the underdog, but you knew what you were getting. I felt that we always came in kind of being looked down upon, kind of like
exactly.
how Italians are in the world, and I think we almost kind of step up to the occasion. I think we've really lost. We kind of kept that at the beginning of this new run, right? Conte kind of reinvigorated the whole kind
Right.
of the fire, and like you look all the way going up until Berlin, and then obviously Cardiff. We still kind of had this mentality that hey, not every game we're gonna win. We're not gonna beat Real Madrid or Barcelona, every year, whether it be we're playing in the group stage or what. But and Bayern has our number and stuff like that, but we still brought a sense of we have the chance, you have the belief. I think it's kind of gone a 180 last couple of years, and it's just like you don't know what you're
Yes.
gonna get. It's a
Yeah.
mixed bag, and you're like,
It's
are
that
they gonna?
never.
Yeah, are they gonna Are they gonna show up? Are they not gonna show up? You kind of, even if it was a close game or maybe the team wasn't looking great, you kind of felt that the hunger was still there. And that's was really, you could say from the Italian national team to Juve, really from, I would say, I don't know, 2010 kind of down into the history books. Juve was, sure, we're not great in finals and stuff like that, but when there was an effort to be put in, you definitely could expect it, and you definitely received it. Now, I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know if that's because of the branding, and like I have my
Mhm.
series, but which we're gonna get into it a little bit more in the next couple episodes. But I don't see that hunger
Yeah,
anymore.
it's that. I mean, I don't want to say grinta or anything, but like the grit, the determination is gone,
Yeah,
and just you can see it in the players. Like I don't know, that just seems like all over soccer. It doesn't matter if it's
yeah,
Juve. Like there's no. It just seems like nobody cares anymore.
it's a different game.
Yeah, but before it was like real like balls to the wall stuff. They
Yeah,
just given it the entire the entire time, and I don't know. I just miss that Juve, and I'm lucky, and I'm sure you're lucky to have seen that.
yeah.
Maybe it'll come back, and let's hope it does. But you know,
Yeah, I mean, on a kind of a negative note, I mean, I don't necessarily know if that will happen because
no,
you look at, all this talk about super leagues and, you know, expanded, maybe bringing Champions League back a little bit, change that, make a third tournament. UEFA's always, they talk about they're going to make a third European competition. Obviously, that's kind of been hush hush slash, not really. The fire hasn't really been lit yet because of all this COVID has slowed everything down. But I think, I don't know, money changes people.
it's very hollow. The sport's really hollow now.
You look at all sports, you look at life, you look at everything. It's like all this the social media. Everybody's either trying to get a dollar out of you, or trying to put something out there that really isn't trying to bring a connection at all. And that's what I try and do at the end of the show here. It's I kind of want to bring it back because, like you've been saying this whole time, you know, who's beating Delhi, who's Cabrini, who's Paolo Rossi. Some guys might not even know who Paolo Rossi is. Like that's just the younger crowd. That's what you're expecting. Obviously, we're gonna want to bring that crowd in because it's gonna make obviously bring in more revenue, and we know the whole argument for that. But I think because if it was just us here, we're gonna die out eventually, and really the club won't go anywhere. So you want to kind of educate the youth in what our history was, and it is a great history. And there's lots of great sources to check out. What's
Mhm.
happened, videos. About Baggio and Del Piero and um, a lot of players. So just keep in touch with that, guys, and go check out. There was a great, Ivan posted a pretty great series on Baggio. I'll have to drop that link onto my feed so you guys can check it out if you're interested. But it's just on YouTube, documentary on Baggio. Very interesting to watch. We talk about. I know Albert was mentioning the role of the fantasista, and really,
Mm.
it doesn't exist really anymore. There's no, and I don't know if maybe the games have become more tactical or whatnot, but there's no real magic at your feet anymore. And
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe it just means because the players are able to defend better than they were back in the day, or what. But I think it's a different kind of football. It's a different players, different mentality. I think you said it best. But yeah, I know that season. I at first I thought you were going to say the 2002 World Cup, and I'm like, no, what are you doing?
No, 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 no.
was,
That's a whole different story.
I was like, I just erased that. I
Oh,
just erased that whole that whole year from my brain. But yeah, no. What a great season for Juve though. Unfortunately, I do know the final was held in Manchester. Just so you know, obviously, if you didn't watch the Juve quiz, the Juve quizzes that I was on obviously made it to the final. Unfortunately, didn't pick up the W in the end, but to a worthy opponent. And Max, thanks for coming on the show, bud. I appreciate you spending your time, just chopping it up. There's lots of games that we're going to get everyone involved. And if something's pissing you off and you want to spend a half an hour or an hour, hour and a half, whatever it may be, you're more than welcome to come on. Just send me a DM. We'll make something happen. And yeah, guys, stay tuned for like I said, I got my notepad that I showed Max here, and I don't want to show too much detail, but that's pretty much my schedule. You'll probably pause the video and now know exactly what I'm doing, but whatever, that's fine. This is not like it's going to be a secret anyways the next few days, but yeah, no, appreciate you coming on, Max.
thanks for having me. Really,
Yeah, I know.
really, and keep it up. I'm grateful to have your podcasts.
Well,
Really,
like I
man.
said, as long as there's listeners, we're still going to be doing this. Whether they want to dislike the videos or not, I know I've seen there's been like a mass kind of, and that's fine. But if I'll just say this: if you are going to dislike the video for whatever reason, drop a comment. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what you want to change. I mean, again, I only got as much time. I got a full-time job. I got my career. And then at the end of the year, I'm probably gonna have to scramble and find something else for work. But guys, yeah, just let me know what you guys want to see. If you want to see a certain guest, if you know someone who wants to come on, whether they're shy or not, they're more than welcome to come on the show, whether that be, again, a post-game preview, whatever it may be. Guys, thanks for all the love. You guys are the best. I really, I really enjoy interacting with you guys when I can, whether that be in disagreement or not. Hey, whatever. I don't take things too personal. And I kind of want to hope that, that's kind of how the whole family is together. You can have a conversation. You can possibly disagree. You don't need to necessarily get personal about it. And we keep the drive alive and the love for the club in general. So, guys, stay tuned. We're going to have a busy week. And I'm already, 4 videos in. I'm already feeling it. I'm just kidding, guys. Let's just have some fun. We got some great guests lined up, some familiar faces, some new faces, some new channels. Again, like I said, more people making content is better for us, daily videos and stuff like that. So we're going to introduce those tifosi to you. And obviously you'll be able to get a hold of them and watch their stuff as well. And we're going to talk about what they do and what they're going to try and bring to the Juve community. And yeah, guys, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao, ciao.